Back in senior year, Liu Ruyan got totally hooked on this new transfer student, even forcing her germophobic self to feed stray cats with him. She even tanked her exam grades to stay near him, breaking her promise to our main character Jiang Chen and getting into brutal fights to defend him. Honestly, this is so painful. She kept standing Jiang Chen up for Ji Nan, giving this new guy all the love that used to be his, completely forgetting their lifelong childhood bond. It is actually wild because she supposedly prayed for him in a past life, but the day Jiang Chen secured a guaranteed spot at a top university, she suddenly dropped her usual cold attitude. She actually asked him out. 15 years of romance ruined by some random guy. Just because of some new kid, they became total strangers. Yet our poor main character still could not stop loving her, feeling completely crushed whenever he saw her laughing with Ji Nan. His heart was drowning in jealousy and pain. Staring at his own depressed reflection in the mirror, he could barely recognize himself anymore. He used to be so confident, but ever since Ji Nan transferred into their class, Ruyan had slowly drifted away, leaving Jiang Chen completely stranded. Watching the girl who was supposed to be his get stolen away was agonizing, yet he was totally powerless. It felt like a red thread was choking his heart. It kept stretching and pulling until it was ready to snap. His best friend Zhao Wei finally had enough of his depressed state and straight up snapped at him. He yelled, "Jiang Chen, are you really letting a girl ruin your life? Ruyan is blind for choosing Ji Nan, so go find someone way better and make her regret it." Honestly, our guy wanted to let go, but it was not that easy. The sheer thought of her loving someone else literally ripped his chest apart. Losing her felt like losing his entire world, and he hated how pathetic he had become. Yet, the moment she finally sent him an invite after ignoring him for weeks, he still dressed up, secretly hoping for a miracle. He wanted to confess one last time. But as they walked along the school track, the silence was deafening. Neither spoke. She did not walk close to him anymore, keeping her distance like a total stranger. It made all their years of closeness feel like a cheap dream. Steeling himself, Jiang Chen started to confess, but she instantly cut him off. She sounded sweet but hesitant as she asked, "Jiang Chen, can you give your guaranteed top university admission spot to Ji Nan?" Bro, my jaw dropped. He could barely squeeze out the words, asking what she meant. Ruyan just looked down, whispering that she knew this was extremely unfair to him. But then she had the nerve to look him in the eyes and say, "Ji Nan really needs this guaranteed spot more than you do." She argued that since Ji Nan was poor, he could never pass on his own, whereas Jiang Chen was smart enough to ace the exam. No shot. She basically told him to just take the grueling entrance exam instead. Jiang Chen stood there, completely unable to believe what he was hearing. His voice shook violently as he asked if this was the only reason she called him out. Each word felt like a physical stab to his chest. She just mumbled another apology, prompting a hollow laugh from him. He pointed out how insane this was since she had only known Ji Nan for a year. Yet they had been together for 18 years. He asked if she felt any guilt for hurting him like this when she knew how deeply he loved her. Did she really think she could just walk all over his feelings because he would always forgive her? This is getting painful to watch, guys. Her eyes shifted guiltily, but she offered no real explanation, only whispering another useless apology. Finally, Jiang Chen snapped, begging her to just stop talking. He did not want her empty apologies. Suddenly, a flying stone zipped past him, triggering a rush of old memories of how they used to be. You see, Jiang Chen and Ruyan were born on the exact same day, living right next door to each other. Their families believed they were literally soulmates. They were inseparable, attending the exact same schools from kindergarten all the way to high school. They were practically attached at the hip. Every single childhood friend envied their perfect dynamic. They had matched family backgrounds, perfect chemistry, and everyone expected them to end up together. Their parents had even arranged their marriage early on. With such a smooth life, everyone agreed they were destined to walk down the aisle. Jiang Chen never once doubted it. He truly believed a quiet voice in his head telling him they were perfect for each other. But nothing could ever tear them apart. As they grew older, he naturally became her protector. Back then, her parents would teasingly ask her if she was happy with the husband they chose for her. He would blush furiously, holding his breath for her response. But she would just take his hand and say, "Of course I am." She promised she would never marry anyone else but her dear Jiang Chen. That vow was deeply engraved in his heart. He swore to marry her too. But everything changed when senior year started, and a quiet transfer student named Ji Nan joined their class. During his introduction, Ji Nan kept his head down, looking incredibly insecure in his cheap clothes. Honestly, he had zero presence at first. But then, Ruyan started getting surprisingly close to him, triggering a sudden wave of panic in Jiang Chen's chest that he tried to ignore. It started with Ji Nan asking her for homework help. Since Jiang Chen and Ruyan were the top two students, it made sense, but Ji Nan only ever approached Ruyan. When Jiang Chen offered to help instead, the guy claimed it was just inconvenient to disturb him. It sounded reasonable, so Jiang Chen brushed it off, until he overheard Ji Nan whining to Ruyan about a difficult math problem. Ruyan just laughed, playfully tapping his head with her pen while calling him silly. The sheer flirting here is honestly making me sick. Ji Nan teased if she would keep tutoring him, and she just pouted helplessly. As he walked away, he threw a smug, mocking look at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen turned to Ruyan, only to find her staring at Ji Nan with a look of pure adoration he had never once received. Jiang Chen clenches his fists as a sharp pain hits his chest. He knows Liu Ruyan too well. She is always freezing cold to everyone. Aside from him and her family, she has never treated anyone like this. He tries lying to himself that they are just normal classmates. The scene of them flirting just now stays stuck in his head. Finally, the bell rings, and it is time to leave school. Ruyan packs her bag, and they walk home together. She complains her bag is heavy, so he smiles and takes it. But then, someone calls her name. Ji Nan runs up out of breath, calling for her to wait. He catches up and naturally grabs Liu Ruyan's hand. He drags her toward the flower beds, saying the stray cat must be starving. Ruyan is stunned, but she does not pull her hand away. She looks at Jiang Chen guiltily, but says nothing, only taking her bag back. Then, Ji Nan naturally takes the bag and wears it himself. She tells Jiang Chen to go home first, since she and Ji Nan are visiting the cat. Without waiting, she lets Ji Nan drag her away. She does not even look back once. Watching their retreating figures, Jiang Chen fights back his tears. That is when the driver, Uncle Ming, notices. Seeing Jiang Chen alone, Uncle Ming asks why Ruyan is not with him today. Jiang Chen says nothing and silently gets into the back seat. Staring at the empty seat, he suddenly tells Uncle Ming to follow them. They pull up near the school back gate and Jiang Chen steps out. He sees a pale Liu Ruyan holding a stray cat while Ji Nan feeds it a snack. Honestly, guys, seeing her change like this is crazy. Slowly, color returns to Ruyan's face as she looks at Ji Nan with pure admiration. This perfect little scene completely pierces Jiang Chen's heart. He just stares at them, unable to look away. Watching from the driver's seat, Uncle Ming's expression darkens as he finally understands what is happening. He offers to go call Ruyan over, but Jiang Chen just pulls his leg back inside and shuts the door. His hands are trembling uncontrollably. Trying to act normal, he tells Uncle Ming to just drive home. The car quietly slips away into the street. Jiang Chen remembers doing the exact same thing with Ruyan, but she had severe germophobia and hated animals. She never used to touch them. She would just stand by his side and watch, never once helping. But everything changed one day when a stray cat scratched Jiang Chen. Ruyan immediately threw the cat away, but afterward, she spent hours washing her hands in panic. She was that terrified of germs. They used to laugh about that day, but those sweet memories feel so cruel now. It seems she has completely forgotten their past. The agonizing pain of betrayal cuts through him again. He feels completely broken. Part of him wants to run out and demand why she is with someone else, but he has no right. They're just childhood friends. They never cross that line or confess their feelings. Jiang Chen always believed that just staying by her side was enough to keep them together. He thought they had an unspoken bond and planned to finally confess on graduation day. He wanted to hold her hand and tell the world. He dreamed of announcing their relationship to their families, walking through their dream college campus together, and building a real future. They were supposed to get married and grow old together, but now Ji Nan has shown up and shattered every single dream he had. A voice in his head screams at him to walk away before he gets hurt worse, but letting go of Ruyan feels completely impossible. He is simply not ready to let her go. He is still too deeply in love.
He cannot even imagine a future without her. He and his friend Zhou Wei used to make fun of pathetic guys in tragic romance movies.
Yet here he is, acting like the ultimate lovesick fool. The next morning, Ruyan notices the dark circles under his eyes on their way to school. She asks if he slept poorly, and Jiang Chen admits he is not used to going home alone. Her eyes immediately dart away in guilt. She nervously explains that Ji Nan had an emergency, promising to tell him beforehand next time. Jiang Chen tries to keep his composure.
Still, he cannot help but ask if she is close with Ji Nan. She hesitates, finally claiming they are just ordinary classmates.
His heart sinks. They have known each other for 17 years. He knows exactly when she is lying. He stares out the window as tears fall. Choking back a sob, he suggests they swap classroom seats so Ji Nan stops bothering her. He just wants to protect her from the distraction. After a long silence, she softly agrees and they swap. But during lunch break, Ji Nan blocks Jiang Chen as he tries to leave. He demands to know if Ruyan changed seats just to avoid him. Honestly, the nerve of this transfer student is unreal. Ruyan panics and tries to explain, but Jiang Chen cuts in, stating the swap was his idea to focus on their upcoming college exams. Ji Nan glares with clear hostility, but Jiang Chen refuses to back down. After that intense face-off, Ji Nan finally stops pestering Ruyan. At first, Jiang Chen is relieved, but then he notices Ruyan getting quieter each day. Yet she still laughs and chats with Ji Nan in the hallways between classes. It feels like her cold silence is reserved only for him.
He feels like the typical villain in a tragic romance webtoon trying to keep the true lovers apart. It's almost laughable.
A month later, his friend Zhou Wei pulls him aside to ask about Ruyan. He just saw her sneaking into the woods with Ji Nan. Apparently, Ji Nan was complaining about having to hide their meetings. Hearing this, Jiang Chen's pen freezes, accidentally tearing his exam paper. Forcing himself to stay calm, he lies to Zhou Wei that they're just classmates. But deep down, he knows his time is running out. Everyone was always telling Jiang Chen that his relationship with Liu Ruyan was rock solid. He tried not to overthink things, but then the midterm exam results dropped. And talk about a brutal slap in the face. Jiang Chen still secured first place, but Liu Ruyan, who always ranked second, somehow dropped to 9th. Meanwhile, Ji Nan? He placed 10th. Since seats are assigned by grades, this paired Liu Ruyan and Ji Nan up perfectly. No shot she actually bombed that exam by accident. It is completely obvious who she threw it for. As she moved her desk, Liu Ruyan just whispered a quiet sorry. She did not explain why, and honestly, she did not need to. Jiang Chen did not even ask. They both knew she was apologizing for breaking her promise that they would always stay together. But for years, they were always first and second, completely inseparable. But now, she was leaving him behind for another guy. He clenched his jaw to swallow the bitterness and refused to say it was fine. Everyone in class was staring. They had all noticed how differently she treated Ji Nan over the last 6 months.
Seriously, the secondhand embarrassment here is crazy. Jiang Chen became the charity case everyone pitied. Their looks felt like daggers, tearing him to pieces. And then, right on cue,
their laughter echoed from behind him. The usually cold and distant Liu Ruyan was laughing so freely, and it honestly felt like she was mocking his cowardice. It is a total mess. Around this time, her parents had to travel abroad, so they asked Jiang Chen's family to watch over her. Naturally, his parents realized things were tense, so they tried to help.
Urged them to hang out over the weekend, telling him to take Liu Ruyan to the newly opened Happy Valley theme park.
He did not say no because deep down he was still holding on to a tiny bit of hope. But the second they stepped out, she told him to go ahead alone, promising she would catch up. Once he arrived, he instantly spotted her. Saw her waiting at the entrance. Jiang Chen assumed she was waiting for him, so he excitedly rushed toward her. But he froze before he even got close. She was beaming at someone else. As this guy ran up to her, she turned her head and locked eyes with him. As soon as she realized Jiang Chen was standing there, the warm smile on her face completely vanished. The air between them literally froze. She dragged Ji Nan over and quietly explained that he had never been to an amusement park, so he wanted to tag along. Then Ji Nan flashed Jiang Chen a bright smile, saying, "Sorry, Jiang Chen, I begged Ruyan to bring me along. Hope I am not crashing your date." Liu Ruyan gave him a playful look, telling him Jiang Chen is not petty like him. Ji Nan pouted and asked who she was calling petty. She laughed, saying he is definitely the pettiest. Then they walked into the park side by side, teasing each other. On the roller coaster, they sat together. She gently buckled him in and adjusted his safety bar. They looked like a perfect couple, while Jiang Chen sat all alone in the row behind them, feeling like a total outsider. They used to hold hands just like that, and she would buckle him in. He remembered teasing her back then, saying someone might fall for her because of how caring she is. She playfully hit him, promising she would never treat another guy like this. But those days are long gone. Jiang Chen stared up at the sky, trying his best to hold back the tears. The rest of the day went by in a complete blur. He ended up just crashing on his bed until his mom woke him up later.
She told him to heat up dinner because she had to head to the police station. He asked why, and she let out a heavy sigh.
Explaining that Liu Ruyan had gotten into a massive fight at a bar, he jolted awake, jumped out of bed, and insisted on going with her. At the station, both sides were still glaring at each other. Liu Ruyan had scratches on her face, and she was staring down a tattooed girl with dyed blonde hair. He had never seen the cold Liu Ruyan look so wild. Her voice was pure ice as she warned the girl that while Ji Nan has principles and does not hit women, she certainly does. She told her to never touch him again or she would throw hands every single time. Ji Nan hugged her from behind, whispering to calm her down. Her face slowly softened. Jiang Chen's mom looked at him with pure heartbreak and whispered that their childhood betrothal was just a joke he should not take seriously. She said Liu Ruyan is not the one for him, and he deserves someone who actually cherishes him. At that point, Jiang Chen's walls crumbled, and he broke down, asking why this was happening. His mom just held him close and told him she was taking him home. After that day, Liu Ruyan and Jiang Chen still commuted together, but the silence between them was deafening. They had become complete strangers. Even sitting next to each other in the back seat, just 20 centimeters apart, they felt worlds away. She still brought him breakfast every day, but when she placed some shrimp dumplings in front of him, he just stared at them, completely stunned. He quietly asked if she forgot that he absolutely hates shrimp. Her lips tightened as she quickly pulled them back, trying to hide her panic.
She muttered an apology, saying she forgot, but then he noticed she had a second box of them. And it all clicked. Ji Nan likes shrimp dumplings, right? She just looked down.
It was painfully obvious his feelings meant nothing to her. The realization hit him hard, and a wave of pure exhaustion washed over him. He was just done. As he turned away, she whispered behind him, "Jiang Chen, I am sorry, but I really like Ji Nan." He clenched his fists, biting his lip to keep it together. He asked why she was even apologizing, asking if it was because she knew he loved her. She quietly admitted it, and the pain made him refuse to look back.
He did not want her to see his pathetic face. He asked if she remembered promising she would never want anyone but him. Her voice was barely a whisper as she replied, "Sorry for giving him the wrong idea, but those were just childhood jokes, and she was sorry he held on to them for so long." She then suggested that they keep their distance so Ji Nan does not get the wrong idea. Jiang Chen could only offer a bitter laugh. She just wanted him gone. She stayed silent. He straightened his back and walked right to his seat. He has always been a proud guy, and there is no way he would throw away his dignity, not even for her. Once the truth was out, they became complete strangers, while her relationship with Ji Nan moved at lightning speed. All the gentle warmth she once reserved for him was now entirely Ji Nan's. As for Jiang Chen, he threw himself into his studies, desperately trying to keep his mind busy. Everyone says Jiang Chen and Liu Ruyan are a match made in heaven, joking they skipped the reincarnation memory wipe. He just smiles. Shaking his head, he jokes that maybe heaven is just compensating them for some tragic past life romance.
But talk about a plot twist. That brick to the head literally unlocks his actual past life memories. Turns out she was once a rich girl named Liu Ruyan sent to a harsh countryside to live in poverty. Jiang Chen was a local doctor back then, saving her when she almost froze and starved to death. In those chaotic times, he shielded her from everything. Naturally, they fell in love and promised to be together forever. But tragedy strikes, an earthquake hits, and he throws himself over her. She survives, but he gets crushed.
Devastated, she crawled on her knees up 999 temple steps just to pray for his soul.
Frail as a fading candle, she begged Buddha to let Jiang Chen live a wealthy, worry-free life next time. His ghost was stuck right beside her, watching her collapse as she whispered one final heartbreaking plea.
She begged that if they ever met again, he would at least look her way. That is low-key heartbreaking, guys.
His spirit wept, swearing to never leave her side next time, but she could no longer hear his voice.
As his soul faded, a distant sigh echoed. It was time to move on to the next life. So his rich current life was actually bought with her past life devotion. Buddha granted them a childhood sweetheart reunion, but then things got messy.
Was this some sick test from the gods? He hated how twisted fate was, but there was no escaping it. Darkness takes over again, replaced by the steady beep of hospital monitors. He wakes up to his mother crying with relief.
The doctors rush in, immediately wheeling him out to run 1,000,000 tests on his brain.
Back in bed, he finds a stressed-out Liu Ruyan waiting. Feeling like a stranger, he asks if she's Liu Nian or Liu Ruyan. Confused, she says she is just Yan Yan, his childhood friend. That is when the painful truth hits him. Only he remembers their past. Ironically, all his current misery comes from that stupid vow to never leave her. No wonder he loved her instantly, letting her walk all over him and hurt him for some other guy. He stayed loyal despite the scars, but now he is absolutely done being a hopeless simp. In his past life, he was a good doctor who saved her life, only to die horribly. What did he do to deserve this? Why should he carry this heavy karma alone? Besides, his current comfortable life is his own reward for being a good person. He does not owe Liu Ruyan a single thing. Taking a deep breath, he finally sees things clearly. Panicking at his silence, she tries to call the doctor, but he stops her. He tells her he agrees. He is giving up the guaranteed college recommendation spot. She freezes, turning back to him in absolute shock.
When she stammers a thank you, he just looks out the window, noting they have known each other their entire lives.
For 17 years, he protected and loved her with everything he had. He has nothing to regret. She looks down, her hair hiding her face, but her tense posture just feels incredibly ironic to him now. His love was just a burden to her, so he lets go. She snaps her head up. Her eyes flash with relief and confusion. He kept his past life promise, but she clearly wanted someone else. She wanted his exit, not his love. So this supposed match made in heaven, it is officially over.
He was never her perfect match anyway. All she can whisper is a quiet apology as he closes his eyes.
He tells her not to bother. Even without his spot, Ji Nan still has to study hard to actually get in. She stares at him, trying to see if he's joking, before softly admitting she let him down. His chest aches a little, but there is no regret. She is not the girl from his past life anymore. They are completely even now, both in this life and the last. No debts, no regrets. Then she asks about Ji Nan. She begs him not to press charges for the rock incident, claiming Ji Nan was just jealous. He just waves it off. Honestly, he just wants peace. After getting discharged, he stays home to study and recover in quiet. His best friend Zhou Wei brings his homework, swearing to keep Liu Ruyan far away. Jiang Chen just laughs it off. He promises he is done with her. Zhou Wei jokes that the rock literally cured his hopeless simp brain. Talk about a blessing in disguise. He is actually happy, and they start gossiping about the school recommendation drama. It turns out Ji Nan did not even get the spot. He was never qualified anyway. Ji Nan threw a massive tantrum, accusing Liu Ruyan of mocking him when she tried to help. Talk about karma. So after a few days of silent treatment, Liu Ruyan actually swallowed her pride to make up with Ji Nan. While telling Jiang Chen this, his friend Zhou Wei is carefully scanning his face for any reaction. But Jiang Chen just shakes his head. Honestly, those two are completely dead to him now. Soon, the dreaded college entrance exam finally arrives, and as his parents drop him off, they run straight into Liu Ruyan. It has been 3 whole months since they last saw each other, and wow, she looks absolutely terrible and totally haggard. The moment she spots Jiang Chen, she completely freezes, her eyes locked onto him. He just gives her a polite smile and says, "Long time no see." She stands there speechless for a solid minute before choking out his name. A Chen.
He is not about to deal with this drama, so he starts walking away, but she begs him to wait.
Annoyed, Jiang Chen asks what she wants. Hanging her head, she mumbles for him to do well because she believes in his strength. Who knows if she is just feeling guilty about stealing his early college admission spot.
But honestly, Jiang Chen does not care anymore. He just gives a relaxed smile, says thanks, and walks into that exam room with his head held high. No toxic ex is going to ruin his vibe today.
He can literally feel her burning gaze on his back as he walks away, but he keeps moving. And just like that, the high-stakes exams are officially over.
When the scores drop, Jiang Chen easily qualifies for a top-tier 985 university, and even his buddy Zhou Wei gets into a great school. Meanwhile, word on the street is that Liu Ruyan totally fumbled her exams.
Still, she can barely scrape her way into her dream school, Peking University, but her boyfriend Ji Nan absolutely bombed it, only scoring high enough for a low-tier, second-rate college.
Zhou Wei asks Jiang Chen if Liu Ruyan would actually be dumb enough to follow that loser to a second-rate school. Jiang Chen just frowns, thinking back to when they first started high school.
Back then, both of their families had planned for them to study business administration abroad so they could eventually take over the family businesses.
Jiang Chen was totally on board, but the usually obedient Liu Ruyan did something rare. She stood her ground. She firmly told her parents that her true dream was studying architecture at Peking University. Seeing the pure passion in her eyes, Jiang Chen was so inspired by her bravery that he decided to change his plans to go with her, especially since Peking University's business school is top tier anyway. Once their parents agreed, Liu Ruyan held his hand, tears of gratitude in her eyes. But back in the present, Zhou Wei cuts off his memories by asking if she would really throw it all away. Jiang Chen tells him there is no way she is that stupid. Zhou Wei lets out a massive sigh of relief, saying he was honestly terrified she was about to go full love brain mode. Because they grew up together, Zhou Wei really did not want to see her trash her own dreams. Then he asks if Jiang Chen is still going to Peking University, but Jiang Chen just shakes his head. That university was never his dream anyway. He is sticking to his original plan to study abroad. When his parents find out, they are thrilled, telling him he is destined for greatness and that Liu Ruyan missed out big time. He already got accepted into his dream school abroad, so the college entrance exam was really just to prove a point. Plus, he kept his travel plans completely secret from everyone except his parents and Zhou Wei. He knows they will not say a word to Liu Ruyan. Fast forward to his departure date, which happens to fall on the exact night of their high school graduation party. Jiang Chen drops a quick text in the group chat, apologizing that he cannot make it. Almost instantly, Liu Ruyan blows up his phone, asking if he is skipping the party because of her. Throughout the entire break, she kept spamming his phone, even begging to know what major he was choosing at Peking University. He left her on read back then, and he is definitely ignoring her now. Since she was the one who threw away the relationship, he sees zero reason to stay in touch. While waiting at his airport gate at midnight, Zhou Wei sends him a video. The clip shows Ji Nan holding Liu Ruyan's hand, flexing their matching couple rings. The guy actually announces that since she is throwing away her dream school for him, he will make her his official girlfriend. Jiang Chen just laughs. He can't believe she actually threw away her entire future for a guy. In an instant, the brave, ambitious girl who once fought her parents for her dreams is completely gone.
Staring at the screen, he notices that even though she got her wish, her smile looks completely forced and miserable. Bro, the regret is already setting in, and she has not even started college yet.
This actually makes Jiang Chen laugh out loud because he is finally free. The girl he loved for years has officially closed the book on their story. Suddenly, his heart beats wildly as a massive wave of relief washes over him. The karmic debt is paid, and he is finally whole again. The version of him that was trapped in his past life is officially gone. That invisible red thread tying him to her is finally broken. As his plane takes off into the night sky, he is completely free. Now, let us switch over to Liu Ruyan's perspective at the graduation party. The whole class is busy celebrating her admission to Peking University. Even the classmate who stole Jiang Chen's early admission spot walks up to her with a smug smile. He literally thanks her and Jiang Chen, saying he never would have gotten the spot without them. Seeing the tension, the other classmates notice that Jiang Chen is a no-show and ask the class president where he is. The class president just waves it off, explaining that Jiang Chen had something important to take care of. While everyone pretends to be sad, they all immediately look at Liu Ruyan, wondering if she is the reason he bailed.
She starts panicking, thinking he skipped the party because of her. She whips out her phone, but looking at their chat, it is just a wall of her own unread messages. Their last interaction was just her asking about his college major, which he completely ignored. She tries to cope, telling herself things will go back to normal once college starts. But deep down, she is absolutely terrified because of how badly she treated him. She sends a text asking if he skipped the party because of her, and then she just waits.
Silence. No reply. Realizing he is not going to text back, she decides to just go to his house and talk to him in person before the semester starts.
She locks her phone and tells herself there is no going back now. To force herself to move on, she confesses her feelings to Ji Nan, and he is absolutely thrilled. But here is the catch. He refuses to do a long-distance relationship. He claims she is too smart and that going to different schools makes him feel totally insecure. While she stands there stunned, Ji Nan pulls a classic guilt trip, sighing that she obviously does not love him. He tells her if she really cared, she would go wherever he goes. He whines about how much he supposedly gave up for her, playing the ultimate victim card. And guys, this is where she completely loses her mind.
She actually agrees to apply to his second-rate college. The moment she says it, something inside her snaps, and she is hit with a wave of pure, chest-tightening grief as tears start pouring down her face. She feels like she just threw away something she would have died to protect. But Ji Nan is completely oblivious to her crying and just hugs her in excitement. Talk about toxic.
When it is time to submit their college choices, her exhausted parents sit her down, completely baffled. They ask her if Peking University was not her ultimate dream. They cannot believe she fought them so hard just to end up at a trash school. Even Jiang Chen's friend Zhou Wei looks at her with pure disgust, telling her she is going to regret this forever. Worse, Jiang Chen's parents, who used to treat her like a daughter, now walk past her like she is a complete stranger. Every single teacher and classmate begs her to reconsider. They warn her not to throw her entire future away for a guy she just started dating, but she is still in denial, wondering how fighting for love could possibly be a mistake. She keeps forcing herself to believe she cannot look back, but the overwhelming guilt is slowly eating her alive.
Her parents, her friends, her own dreams. She let everyone down, especially the boy who went to college alone.
His support was her only strength against her parents, yet she is kept apart from him. And the crazier part is, the more they are separated, the more she cannot stop thinking about Jiang Chen. Her dad sneers that it is a good thing Jiang Chen went abroad instead of foolishly following her around. Without him, they cannot face his family. Her heart stops. Jiang Chen left the country? When did he leave? Why did he keep secrets? Her hands shake as she grabs her phone. But her mother snatches it away, telling her to stop bothering Jiang Chen since she already made her choice. Honestly, her mom is right. She has no right to bother him now. Giving up her dream of studying architecture, she majors in business just to appease her parents, who still look down on her. In college, she becomes the ultimate model girlfriend, waiting outside Ji Nan's dorm with breakfast every single morning. She completely spoils him by buying him phones, computers, and expensive clothes, constantly posting their couple photos online. Then, an old classmate comments they thought she and Jiang Chen were meant to be. They wish her happiness with Ji Nan, but when she tries to type a reply, her shaking hands completely betray her.
Just seeing Jiang Chen's name again makes her mind go completely blank, and a suffocating pain tears through her chest.
His social media page is completely empty, yet she finds herself secretly checking it every single day like a stalker. To the world, she is the perfect girlfriend, but behind closed doors, she is completely exhausted by his endless demands. He comes from a poor background but has massive material desires, and she drains herself trying to buy him everything. Yet on her own birthday, she waits and hopes for a small surprise. But midnight passes without a single word. When she finally confronts him, this guy actually has the nerve to blame her for not telling him her birthday sooner. The next morning, he hands her a cheap pair of gloves, smiling and pretending he had planned this surprise all along. She tries to smile but cannot. He linked her card to his account, and she just saw the purchase notification. The gloves cost $9.90, but the shipping was $30. She is too exhausted to even complain. Eventually, her parents notice the massive spending, freeze the card, and tell her to fund her own boyfriend. Ji Nan immediately throws a massive fit, calling her completely useless just because the card got frozen. Honestly, this guy is a walking red flag. She finally snaps, pointing out that he spends 30,000 yuan a month. What kind of college student does that? Instead of owning up, he plays the victim, accusing her of regretting her choice because her parents still prefer Jiang Chen. He snaps that she was the one who begged to be with him, then storms off in a rage. This time, she does not chase him. She just stands there, totally drained. Does she actually regret her choices now? Why is her face covered in tears? Her heart is literally breaking. A heavy weight crushes her chest as Jiang Chen's face flashes through her mind, haunting her. Her tears are basically screaming the truth. She regrets everything. Suddenly, her roommate calls her with some urgent news. Following a sketchy bar address, she walks in only to see Ji Nan on stage, kissing another girl in front of everyone.
No screaming, no crying. She just watches him in dead silence until his face turns pale.
He runs over, begging for forgiveness and blaming the alcohol, but she calmly tells him to let go because they are finished. Ji Nan completely loses his mind, accusing her of breaking up just to run back to Jiang Chen and starts threatening her. He threatens to leak their private photos to the entire school. I did not see that coming. This guy is actually insane.
She is utterly frozen. Is this really the same shy, gentle boy who was too scared to even look up in class? Seeing her cold expression, Ji Nan snaps, grabbing her shoulders and shaking her violently to get a reaction.
In a blind rage, he shoves her hard onto the concrete stairs. Her head strikes the stone and her vision fades to black. The last thing she sees is him running away in absolute panic. Later, her roommate is crying, asking why her taste is this bad. Karma hits hard, but as her mind slowly wakes up, everything feels shattered. Who is she?
Is she Liu Ruyan or Liu Ruyan? In this moment, she finally understands why Jiang Chen looked at her with such pain and confusion before. Why he asked which version of her she was. Because right now, all her memories from her past life are rushing back.
Jiang Chen is the one who loved her for 2 entire lifetimes, the soul she literally died praying for. Talk about an epic twist. As he lay dying, she finally heard his last words, promising to never leave her side in the next life. And Jiang Chen actually kept that promise, guarding her for 17 years as her childhood sweetheart. But here is the thing. Why did her heart stray to another guy? Why did she throw away the destiny she literally begged heaven for? When her mother walks in with red, swollen eyes, she is completely heartbroken seeing Liu Ruyan in this state. At this point, Liu Ruyan completely breaks down, crying that she regrets everything and needs to go find Jiang Chen. She starts violently hyperventilating from the panic attack, forcing the doctor to rush in and inject her with a sedative. After waking up from the darkness, she sees a familiar face sitting by her hospital bed and tears start flowing.
She asks if she is dreaming, but Jiang Chen just coldly nods. Hearing his voice again is actually so heartbreaking.
She missed him every single second of her college life, but now he looks way more mature and distant. He breaks the silence, coldly mentioning that his mother told him she kept calling out Liu Ruyan's name. Turns out he also remembers their past life, but speaks like it is nothing. Bro, the emotional damage is unreal.
Jiang Chen stands up and calmly tells her to just treat everything as a dream and let time wash it away.
He bids her take care and turns to leave, but she desperately grabs his hand, begging him not to go.
She cries out that she can't forget the fate she literally gave up her life for. Why is it gone?
Choking on her tears, she desperately clings to him like a lifeline, terrified of letting go of her last hope. But he simply tells her to let go. After all, she was the one who abandoned him first for another. She literally failed her exams on purpose and treated another guy with all the warmth she promised only to him. Her grip slowly weakens as she realizes she has no right. Still, she begs heaven for just one more chance. But heaven stays silent. When she begs him for another chance, Jiang Chen just bitterly asks why he should care. He reminds her that he owes her absolutely nothing. In their past life, he literally died to save her. She was the one who forced this karmic bond onto him, and now she realizes he never owed her anything. Taking a deep breath, she finally tells him to leave, accepting that she is the only one who owes him. She promises never to bother him again, and he simply nods and walks away, leaving her in absolute terror.
She screams for him not to leave, but her desperate, pathetic pleas do not even make him slow down.
He pauses for a split second, then walks out forever. The next time she sees him is at his wedding. Meanwhile, the other guy, Ji Nan, is rotting in prison for 8 years. Her dad even made sure he suffers. But honestly, she does not even care anymore. Ji Nan is completely erased from her mind. Watching another girl stand next to Jiang Chen in a wedding dress, she literally burns with pure, agonizing jealousy.
She threw away her own happily ever after. As they exchange rings, she flees the hall, unable to watch.
Talk about a tragic payoff. She leaves herself to slowly rot in the dark. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.
I catch your footsteps as they fade away. The rain of my regret starts falling. But your shadow still lingers in my mind. Standing alone against the cold wind, I guard your memory. In another life, I would never choose to leave your side. Silent tears keep falling down. Why did I break our eternal sacred promise? Now you walk away with another beautiful soul. Floating down the river of time with a broken heart, try to move on, but I cannot let go. Oh, my beloved, I cannot even hold you now. Lost you forever to the dark. Every single day, I will still wait for you. My endless sorrow. We can never go back to before. Oh man, our main character is currently in no position to celebrate. Everyone is watching him, so giving up on this mission is not an option. They must fight to the end as equals. He gathers everyone close, looking right at his girl like he already knows her.
His intense gaze is staring straight into her soul.
He refuses to run and suddenly leaps onto the table.
The massive impact literally sends her flying 10 feet back. It will not hurt.